Welcome to the Underground.
Turn me up, bitch!
My Little Underground with Peter A.
It's My Little Underground. I'm Peter A, and you can follow me on socials at MLUpod. And if you feel like it, you can subscribe to the monthly My Little Underground email newsletter, and that's on peteraradio.com. Today on the show, it is part 2 of my 2022 anticipated series, but this time we're going to include one non-musical piece of content that I'm looking forward to this year, and that is Butch Queen Energy, BQE. That's right, this is the new comedy series from Malcolm Smith, who's been on My Little Underground to talk about it. It was supposed to come out February 1st, as Malcolm said, right here on My Little Underground. But, life happens, so we have a new premiere date, and that is February 22nd. And you can watch the trailer the great trailer on the BQE The Series Instagram, at BQE The Series. And you can watch it on the Lennox Letters YouTube page. I know what you're thinking. What the hell is Lennox Letters? I was confused too, but it seems to be a collaborative arts collective that Malcolm is a part of, and I'll have Malcolm back on the show to explain all this crap. But I am very excited about Butch Queen Energy. I think Malcolm is one of the best content creators I know. I've known him for a long time, and I'm really confident that this series is going to be a smash. And if you listen to his Insecure podcast, he got y'all. He loves TV. He's trying to learn everything he can about television to make great TV himself. I know for the past year or so he was writing some stuff, but I guess this is one of the things that he's been writing, and I'm excited to see it fully fleshed out. So look out for Butch Queen Energy, February 22nd on YouTube. Back into classic My Little Underground mode, talking about music, because the rest of the show is going to be about music, don't worry. Dummy, and they announced, Joe Trainer himself announced right here at My Little Underground, because every time Joe from Dummy comes on the show, he always gives me some new exclusive shit to run with, and he said it on this show, so it is public record that there will be a third Dummy EP coming this year, I believe. He didn't give me a concrete date, but maybe, I'm speculating that it'll be by the end of the year. They're going on this massive U.S. tour this year, so maybe we'll hear some of this on the Dummy tour. They'll be coming to New York in April, so maybe I'll hear some new Dummy when I go see them live, which should be really cool. And also, another piece of Dummy news, they're reissuing their first 2 EPs on vinyl, and that's coming out later this year. And I love the first 2 EPs. If anything good came out of 2020, is the fact that Dummy came out with 2 brand new EPs. So looking forward to what Dummy has in store later on this year and into the following year as well. Dummy is not stopping. They're going full speed ahead. They had to reschedule some of their international tours because of obvious reasons, COVID. But the US tour seems to be okay right now. I haven't heard any cancellations on the Dummy end, so very excited about that. New Dummy EP, new Dummy anything I'm excited for. They're one of my favorite bands out of LA. And staying in that same city, when Joe Trainer came to My Little Underground again recently, Mo Dottie, who's also out of LA, has new music as well, because Joe is really close with them, and he spilled the beans that there will be a new Mo Dottie EP that's following up 2020's Blurring EP. Now, if you haven't heard that, go listen to that. It is tremendous. If you love shoegaze-inspired music, Mo Dottie is for you. I'm all about that stuff, if I haven't made that abundantly clear. So, I'm going to love it. And my whole thing, because I remember Appeal Dream Magazine is another type of group. They came on the show last year. And when I first heard them, I thought, okay, this sounds like, My Bloody Valentine and Stereolab. But if they're going to wear the influences on their sleeves, just make sure the sweater's nice. And Mo Dottie is, that too. The sweater that the sleeve that they're wearing of their influences, the sweater is nice, if that makes any sense at all. So Mo Dotty is coming out new tunes later this year, hopefully. So yeah, I'm just waiting. And also, I've said this already before, Mo Dotty has, and they know this too, they have an open invitation to My Little Underground to talk about this EP. So Mo Dotty, come on in whenever you're ready. Okay, Editrix. Now, Wendy Eisenberg was on My Little Underground recently talking about their solo efforts, including their banjo-centric Bent Ring album, which is one of the best albums of 2021. Go listen to that. And Wendy spilled the beans about a new Editrix album coming. And not lying, they told me the title of the album. It's called Editrix 2, Editrix Goes to Hell. Now, I asked Wendy, and Wendy said that this is the album title. I still kind of think they're joking, but we shall see. So I guess the most important thing to note is that there will be another Editrix album coming this year. Not another one. A Editrix album in 2022, because the last Editrix album was last year. So look out for new Editrix. Going way out to London for Ibibio Sound Machine. They just announced their first album in 3 years called Electricity, and that's out March 25th. Really excited about this one. The teasers to this thing are tremendous, including the titular Electricity and the very multi-layered, funky All That You Want. These tunes are fantastic, and we live in an age with streaming apps, and you can have every piece of music at your hands whenever you want. And, people aren't necessarily pre-ordering albums or listening to samples of an album and then go buy it, because traditionally you'll hear a song on the radio and then it would make you want to buy the album, right? So these days people aren't really doing that anymore. I still am, because I love using Bandcamp and I love supporting artists directly. So these two songs from Ibibio Sound Machine from the new album, and a lot of the projects I'm going to talk about today, I've pre-ordered, and most of them. And the teasers are good enough for me to want to buy it. And I think that's great. And listen, I don't think I've said this here before. Artists, I am never pre-saving an album of yours on streaming services. Never again. I'm just not, I never did it, but I'm never doing that. It's the stupidest shit in the world to pre-save an album. You pay a monthly fee to hear every album ever. Just wait till the release date. I don't know what it does. Maybe it's some algorithmic trick for pre-saving an album. I don't know what it does, but fuck that. I'm just not. If I'm not buying your music on Bandcamp, I'm gonna wait for the album to come out. Okay, that's it. But yeah, Ibibio Sound Machine. Looking forward to Electricity, March 25th. Now, that very same day, Gorilla Toss is gonna debut an album with Sub Pop, and it's called Famously Alive. And this follows up their 2020 Sub Pop singles, Human Girl and Own Zone. And these tunes were unbelievable. I love them. They're very new wave-like, and they're great to run to. I remember the beginning of 2021, late 2020, when I was still running a whole lot, these tunes would be on heavy rotation. And they're definitely cardio-ready songs. And Gorilla Toss in the past, their music has been very pulsating. And hopefully their new album, Famously Alive, still keeps that. But the first single, Cannibal Capital, is, it has a sort of, chaotic energy to it, but it's tender as well. You know what I mean? I think we're going to hear more of that. And these songs it's very melodic. And, Gorilla Toss traditionally is very melodic, but there's a lot of things always happening in a Gorilla Toss tune. But this time around, they are talking about dealing with social anxiety, and you kind of feel that on this tune. So very excited for personal Gorilla Toss in 2022. All right, one of my favorite acts out of New York City, talking about Homeboy Sandman. I spent a good chunk of 2021 talking about this dude because he couldn't stop putting out music. And now his first release of 2022, There in Spirit, a new EP produced entirely by Illingsworth out of Detroit. And let me tell you, Mr. Sandman, he picks the best producers. Last year was A$AP Rock and Two Hungry Bros. 2020 was Quelly Chris. And this time, he's teaming up with Illingsworth. I'm very excited about this new project. And some of the teasers on here keep that same energy. A lot of captivating strings on the production side with a lot of fluttering flutes. And this obtuse bass line is great. And of course, all complemented with Homeboy Sandman's sharp, razor sharp lyricism. All right, staying in New York City, we have a new supergroup, Watt Together. I talked about them. Have I talked about them on this show? Maybe that was Peter A Radio. But anyway, yeah, so Watt Together, supergroup made up of members of LCD Sound System, The Rapture, Long Wave, and Electro Putas. They announced their full-length debut, Let's Watt Together, March the 4th. One of the teasers on here, You Got the Blues. Extraordinary tune here. Very groovy garage tune with an explosive crescendo towards the end that kind of rewards you sitting through the almost 5-minute tune here. And this tune is apparently dedicated to those going through depression. And Watt Together, I don't love comparing groups to other groups, but when I'm listening to these initial tunes from Watt Together, and the last time I was listening to them closely, I was on a train, right? And it kind of reminds me of like early Yeahs. Like, just when I'm listening to them, I just feel that energy. Not directly comparing Yeahs to Watt Together. There are some similarities, but I wouldn't closely compare them together. I just feel that energy from listening to Watt Together. I'm really excited for their new album. And it's going to be on Death Strange. And Death Strange is the A Place Buried Strangers label, so that's really cool. So hopefully, maybe I'm putting this out there, we'll get a Watt Together and A Place Buried Strangers show. Maybe a Dead Strange showcase. We'll see. Going out to Chicago, we got Kaina, who just announced her second album, It Was Home, March 4th. One of the teasers on here, Apple, is an extraordinary tune. It's very soft, romantic, and I can picture this at a party. I could definitely picture a DJ throwing this in the mix. Kaina has some, fantastic vocal arrangements here, especially that middle section. Man, pure magic. It is sweet like an apple. It's like biting into an apple on a very warm July morning. That's exactly what Kaina's music is like. And recently, she's been asking followers on Twitter for opener suggestions for her tour. And I suggested Old Man of the Woods for Seattle. That would be a very cool show. It just makes sense to me. If you're, a listener of Old Man of the Woods, you may understand. You could probably see it too. All right. Last but certainly not least, we have an update on the My Idea album. And I've talked about it on the show, and My Idea themselves, Lily and Nate, were on My Little Underground late in 2021 announcing that they're going to have a full-length album with Hardly Art. And it's finally out in the open. It is called Cry MFer, and it's coming to us April the 22nd. And My Idea is one of the most exciting bands out of New York City right now. They have a very refreshing, relaxed take on pop music that just kind of evokes a lot of emotion, and it maintains a whole lot of excitement. And it seems to me like they're just kind of building their relationship musically, like not only musically, but like personally, and kind of maintaining sobriety like they've mentioned. And if you ever seen them live, you kind of see that energy in the flesh, because their chemistry is tight, and they're just like seeing Lily, act as the lead singer. Well, she's very relaxed in this role. You know what I mean? Like, I saw them open for Rap Boys last year, and it was like Lily was talking to her friends. It was so cool, and Nate just looks like, he's having a great time. He's a great guitar player too, and it was just a really good time. And I think it's just a friendly atmosphere. When you listen to their music, it's like you're just hanging out with some friends, and when you see them live, you're partying with your friends. My idea is definitely a band to pay attention to in 2022. Really excited for what they got coming, and when they were on My Little Underground last year, they definitely teased like an entire country album. I don't know if that's part of their Hardly Art deal, but we shall see. Maybe Sub Pop is listening. Maybe if they ever get signed to Sub Pop, we'll see my idea country album. So that's gonna do it for the second round of 2022 anticipated here on My Little Underground. I'm Peter A. You can follow me on the socials at MLU Pod. You can talk to me on there. And you can sign up for the monthly My Little Underground email newsletter. And let me explain a little bit about what you get in this newsletter. It's not just words and links to My Little Underground podcasts that you should listen to within the month, but I also share a song that I'm obsessed with, that I just can't stop listening to. So if you sign up for my newsletter up on my website, peteraradio.com, you'll get all that good stuff twice a month. All right, later days.